The clients were very interested in the property and restoring it. It had had a very sad 50 years prior to their occupation. It had aluminium windows installed, it had chunks of timber frame knocked out. It had really been almost destroyed by previous works, and it was an uncovering and removal of these late 20th century work that has the building that we see today. So the property is of many different stages. So we have early box frame, we have solid masonry construction, we have some cavity wall construction, early cavity construction. But as this building is essentially an accretion, the additions and how they abut each other caused problems particularly. Lots of valley roofs where water trapped and gutters failed and water penetrated, and therefore lots of areas of decay. The walls were running with moisture, so we had to undo the work, get them dried out, and then look to insulate. In that instance, we used wood wall slabs and lime plaster on the inside and lime render and lime paint on the outside, so the structure was breathable. I see many people doing it wrong. There's a feeling that you can insulate from the inside, and without the understanding that you're going to get a temperature drop, you're going to possibly cause interstitial condensation. Because people imagine it's like forming a cavity within a traditional, within a modern construction.
A lot of contractors learn on modern post-war buildings that have cavity wall insulation, very tight, not so much a need of ventilation, and they just take that back and treat a traditional property as they would a modern property, which leads to huge problems.
An old wall has built-in timbers which don't exist within the 20th century cavity wall construction. These timbers, now you've put the heating and the insulation on the inside face, and if it's not breathable, those timbers are going to get wet, and that's going to cause decay. I think the retrofit guidance will make it really a great deal of difference to architects and professionals. It really helps to show a client the interaction of decisions made. I've had another client with a timber frame property where they said, well, there's been lots of alterations done, why does it matter? And I said, well, it does matter, this is why it matters. So the guidance in taking it from being a sole voice saying, well, I believe this, to saying, look, this is official, this is important, helps that confidence thing. It really is very, very useful.
Responsible retrofit courses is that it's designed around the STBA guidance wheel, and it's about looking at houses and retrofit holistically, looking at the whole house. So not just looking at one particular measure and looking at what are the advantages or the risks associated with that, but looking about how those measures interact together. I mean, really, they're very much designed for anybody that's involved in the retrofit industry. There's something for every level. And particularly with responsible retrofit, it's particularly targeted at architects, building service engineers, contractors, but also there are loads of people who can also benefit. So if you're a heritage conservation officer, policy makers, and we're even looking at doing options for homeowners, so like guidance and training for that. But really it's a matter for anybody who's involved in the retrofit. There's nobody can really sort of say, oh, this isn't my responsibility, I don't need to know about this. Really everybody from the start to the finish needs to have an understanding of how traditional buildings work. And responsible retrofit courses are run often down at Core in Stoke-on-Trent and all over the country. You can sign up or find out more by visiting our website core-skills.com or get in touch with us at our main office.